Welcome back, everyone, to Week 4, July 4, and Game 4 of the North American LCS Summer Split. Now get ready for Counter Logic Gaming versus Rank 4 Team Coast. And for Counter Logic Gaming, their Summer Split has gone counter to the logic of most predictions. After a 2-1 run at MLG where they beat Vulcan and TSM, looks like Doublelift and his crew might have what it takes to carry CLG back to the top of the standings.
Yeah, coming into the season, there were a lot of question marks about this team. New players, new roles, but so far, CLG looking much better than they did at the end of the spring split. Nien, especially, has really stepped up in his new top lane role. Last week at MLG, in the epic game versus TSM, he dominated Dyrus in that top lane, took down all 3 inhibs by himself, and he defended his base 1 vs 3, scoring a triple kill.
It was massive for him, and today Nien and CLG face off against a Coast squad that beat them in Week 1 of the North American LCS Summer Split.
Daydreamin got his blitzcrank in that game, and that's always fun to watch. There's no one better in the North American LCS at using that blitzcrank. That was also the game that Zion Spartan missed because he was graduating, but Jinte came in and he played an outstanding Orianna, and the whole team stepped up to help Coast get a win.
And even though Zion missed that game, it didn't stop him from talking a little trash on Twitter. He said, right now our potential feels higher than CLG's. Smiley face. Really looking forward to this week's LCS matches.
You know it just got real when he drops the smiley face.
I know, man. Shots fired. But I got to ask you, even, given that CLG is ahead of Coast in the standings, is Zion just daydreaming right now?
Well, Coast is a team that's always had confidence. Even in the spring split, when they started in 8th place, they ended up coming back and taking 2nd place in the playoffs. But as we've seen, it's not potential that matters, it's results. And CLG's results are just better right now.
That's true. And of course, if Team Coast wants to repeat their spring playoff results, their new coach and former Curse support player Elements will have to teach his team how to harness that potential energy.
Since I left Curse, I took a little break. I was just hanging out with my girlfriend in San Francisco. I didn't stream, I didn't do anything. I kind of just, I guess, separated myself from the scene a little bit. Since then, Team Coast contacted me. I was in, I know the owners, and they offered me the opportunity to come coach Team Coast. Coaching is a little bit different from pro playing, obviously. I also have a different coaching background in lacrosse. I did coached lacrosse for 8 years. I'm still going to the events. I'm still putting in, the time, but I don't need to learn that for myself. I need to pass it on now. I can't be there. I just have to push them on their way and say, I hope they do the right thing.
The most important thing is teamwork, and he sees that as the key component of winning this game, and I definitely agree with him, and that's why I value him as a coach a lot.
Well, he'll offer us some ideas, and we'll pick out which ideas we like.
His presence, his overall positive influence, he's always backing us, getting us pumped for games.
Ready, boys? Go, 1, 2, 3, go!
Steve, my old manager, used to get really excited when we'd win or lose. He's a very passionate person. I'm exactly there with him now. We're going to sit beside him probably, over the Curse first Coast game. We're both going to be biting our nails who's going to win.
The Nexus is going to be hit up. Curse coming through with an almost perfect game. A 0 turret shutout, and the Nexus taken down at 24-28.
Curse looked real good in that game.
We didn't do anything.
Yeah, they couldn't do anything.
Literally, we just didn't do anything we planned to do.
That loss was actually, hopefully, a wake-up call for them. They're 5 reflections of me now, and I really have to build them up and be great. And if I don't do it, then that's not me. That's how I feel. I give a certain amount of leeway and a certain amount of freedom, but if you disrespect that freedom, I'm going to come down hard on you just like anyone else would. I never once have thought, what am I going to do after pro playing? Because there is honestly a lot of different, choices you can go in from, management, coaching, casting, making your own YouTube, being your own personality. If I mold these guys right and I truly make them into champions, I will see those rewards. And that's honestly exciting. That's an exciting job. As hard as I work is as hard as I'm going to be rewarded. That's how I feel right now, and that's a really good feeling.
Hard work in the future for Elements, and of course, we'll see if that hard work pays off in this game. It's about time for his team to prove their mettle, but first let's check out the starting lineups. On the blue side, it's Counter Logic Gaming. Nien in that top lane, Big Fat LP in the jungle, Link in mid, Doublelift on AD carry, and Chouster the support.
And on the red side, it's Team Coast. Zion Spartans up top, Nintendo X in the jungle, Shifter at mid, Don't Mash Me on AD carry, and Daydreamin' supporting.
And I know we have featured matches that we specifically highlight throughout the day, but one that I actually really like here is the two junglers, because to me, they're the best smiters in the league right now. Big Fat LP and Nintendo Dex steal more freaking buffs and dragons and barons than I've seen anyone else do.
Yeah, that's going to be a really hotly contested game there, the Smite Wars. But CLG also have Link on their team, who's been stealing away dragons and objectives with wild cards and whatever ability he has, Orianna even, so LP's got a little backup there.
And Daydream was still one with a blitz hook before too.
You're
so
right.
I mean, there's stuff all over the place, man. And look at this though, the Blitzcrank ban. All right, I feel that one. The Rengar ban though, that's a bit of a new one. So CLG knows a little something that Zion Spartan wanted to do.
Yeah, so back at Anaheim, Westrice really made a good showing with that Rengar, and you know, it looks like CLG knows something that Team Coast have been practicing since then, trying to implement it into the LCS game. Tough break for the fans, though. We don't get to see Rengar.
I'm guessing that's a result from a couple of scrims these guys played, and they were like, yeah, Zion, you're not doing that. I mean, especially you consider that Doublelift tends to be one of the main carries there. Big assassins who one-shot you.
Don't want that coming at me.
That was Doublelift asking for that one.
And especially, those are the types of champions that Zion likes to play, right? He said always he loves snowball champions. He loves champions he can carry with and go all in with. That's Rengar for you.
There's Rengar for you. Now, Zion, I know you showed the team there. I appreciate that, but is going for the Shen, the safe pick there, the top lane of the split push, and of course, Daydream can't get blitzed, but I'll take a different hook. He's going to go for Thresh.
So yeah, he's got a little wind-up time, but that just means that there's some mind games that go into Thresh's hooks, because you actually don't even have to turn your character to shoot your hook. You can shoot the hooks, you know, over the shoulder. You can do backward shots through the legs. There's a lot of little tricks you can pull to land those tricky Thresh hooks, and we'll see if, you know, his game on the Thresh is as good as his Blitzcrank is.
And meanwhile, though, Counter Logic Gaming, they're playing just standard setup right here. The Tristana in the back lines, long range, hyper carry. Doublelift's going to be pretty at home here.
Yeah, after that win versus Cloud9, Doublelift, he's a believer. He loves the Tristana now. You know, he said before it wasn't that big of a fan, but when he gets to that end game and he feels the power of that 6 out of Tristana, then he's definitely a fan. And we just heard Cloud9 rave about Jace. So that first pick, this is looking like a very, very solid team here for Counter Logic.
Definitely looks good for them, but on the other side though, Coast have a very different sort of mindset here. Picked up the Draven, picked up the Elise, a lot of early mid-game power here, and a lot of threat just about to head towards CLG.
So the thing about, you know, both Tristana and Jace, they're pretty squishy early, and Tristana, her early game is fairly weak in lane, so if they do take this Evelynn from the jungle, and you can roam and pressure both of these high priority carries that CLG already have picked, then Coast can come out with some very early momentum, and if they can snowball that one along, you know, with Draven, all of this Coast team is along the same lines there, then they can end the game before Doublelift gets to his, you know, final form, I guess.
Well, Counter Logic Gaming have picked their last couple of champions to try to hold that on and get themselves toward the late game. Nasus, Orianna coming through, but Coast still wanted to start fights. They've grabbed up Zed, so I think we know what Coast wants to do.
Oh yeah, so they don't have the Rengar to all-in Doublelift and blow him up, but Zed, pretty good choice as well, because if you ultimate on Tristana and she knocks you away with Buster Shot, you can just press R again, get right back to her. So knockaways, not very effective on Zed. Gonna have to use the flash or the rocket jump to get out of there. But Zed and Shen combo, I always love this combo. It's such a potent diving combo. The dual ninjas getting into your back line can really cause a lot of trouble.
And even early game, don't forget, if Shifter doesn't roam, they can do the Evelynn Shen combo too, and that's
Invisible Shen coming out.
Gosh, that's
the Invis Ninja. That's the only thing better than the ninja from the shadows.
There we go, just full invisible. Doesn't even have a shadow. Light passes through him. So, all right, rough road ahead, I think, for Counter Logic Gaming, but heck, they've played towards late game all the time. We've actually heard players talk kind of admirably about CLG's ability to just hold on to games that are terribly just difficult to win. And Cutie Pie is probably the most frank player. And I asked him about it actually before he actually went on and played last time. And I was like, yeah, so tell me about that. And he's like, well, we don't normally lose those games that CLG like tries to hold on to unless we do something really, really stupid. But I mean, it's still really admirable. Like, we get used to playing the long games because we scrim them enough. So. I mean, that could definitely be in store here.
Yeah, and CLG, it looks like they're definitely building for it, too, even with their jungler pickup. Grabbing that Nasus, the wave clear of Spirit Fire, is what you want to get to late game. You got to continue to clear out waves, try and defend your turrets, keep them up for long enough for Tristana to get that farm that she wants. No matter how many Frankers Cutie Pie sends at you, going to be able to defend that one.
So here we go, guys. The game is afoot. Here we go, number 4 of the day, Counter Logic Gaming in blue, Team Coast in red, Freak and Kobe bringing you all kinds of awesome action. I want a repeat of CLG vs TSM though. I want an hour-long base race with minions and all that.
Oh yeah, you got that first one. I didn't. I had to watch from the stands there. I would definitely enjoy having one of those on our hands, but it looks like Coast have different ideas. Not only did they go with that real early game lineup, they also bought Red Elixir here early on Shifter. He's looking for that all-in. Zed, notorious for, you know, going very hard, very early, burning his Ignite within the first few minutes.
And they have a really interesting setup here as well, because both teams sent their main lineup towards the enemy red buff, sent their support over to Ward defensively, and then sweep back over. CLG now know about this. They're walking through a ward as well. And though both teams know, okay, they've avoided our red, they've invaded our red, but the teams don't know that they've been spotted doing this.
Yeah, basically a mirror match here. We'll have to see how each team reacts with the exact same information, because they're both well aware. It looks like they're just trying to get the vision down, having the wards on the buffs. Like the players have said, it's so important, especially the first buffs. The first 2 buffs that you secure are basically the most important of the game for that jungler, because it means the difference between a level 2 or a level 3.
And so the teammates of the junglers have mostly recalled back. It's Big Fat LP at the end, still camping around this red buff right here. Still with vision control. Looks like they're not getting stabbed by Coast. And of course, the same thing here. It's Daydream and Nintendo and Don't Mash Me trying to steal the CLG red buff here at level 1.
Yep, so it looks like they are going to get the steal off for both teams. So it'll just be a red trade. And then both teams actually have pretty good vision of the exits of the jungle. Unless Big Fat LP goes up that top way, then both teams will be alerted. Eve, though, did not burn her smite. Looks like Big Fat LP can hold on to his as well, so they can secure that all-important second buff.
And Big Fat's actually going to sit in the enemy jungle and clear out the last little bit of that camp, get the last little mini lizard right here for Big Fat. But interestingly, we have a 2v2 lane bottom here, and this is one thing that concerns me a little bit for CLG, because Doublelift has called Tristana a weak laner, saying that he will keep Tristana in his lane until he just crushes that guy in minion kills. But he's fighting Draven Thresh, who really good laning champions.
Exactly. They're going to try and bully them out, plus they're going to call in Nintendo for extra jungle support. So it was a very, very nice pink ward by Choster at the exact right time. He placed that pink ward right when Nintendo was coming down through the river.
So he's looking for the mid lane. Instead, he's going to jump right onto Link. Can he get the damage up what he needs? Jumps in as Shifter. Link down below half HP. Good early push there by Nintendo.
Yeah, and the jungle changes also kind of benefited Jungle Evelyn too, because there's more emphasis on the buffs. Instead of the small camps, you know, she can just go roaming right after she gets the buffs, and you get a free chunk, 50% of Link's life out there. I'm sure Shifter appreciates that one.
And of course, Link only started with a Doran's ring and 2 potions, so he has very, very limited health sustain. I would not be surprised to see Nintendo show up every once in a while as well. And the other thing I actually want to call question to, speaking of Nintendo, is he is normally the tank player for his team. Normally he enables Zion to play a carry like Riven. This time around, actually, Zion's on a take here. Nintendo want to see if he goes for that Lizard Elder we see so much, or if he goes for Golem Spear, as he normally does, even on champions like Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, I'd have to guess that he would probably go with the Lizard Elder still, just because it's so popular and so effective on Evelyn, getting that true damage burn. But Evelyn, as soon as she hits level 6, you know, her ultimate does give her a nice shield, so he's still bringing some tankiness to the party here. Looks like his gank up top, though, is going to be at the exact wrong time, as Nien has already left the area.
Nien has recalled back, picks up a tier and a pink ward, and is moving his way back to the lane. So looks like Coast does not really get much of a shove here in the top lane. Actually, they're letting Zion Spartan freeze it. So unfortunately for Nintendo, he does waste some time. But let's revisit this bottom lane here, because this is the one I think that is make or break here for Counter Logic Gaming, is can Doublelift get going? And right now it is 25 to 25, an exactly even lane right here for CLG.
And it has to be some very opportune hooks coming down while Eve is in the area, I think, because Chauster and Double Lift playing this one nice and safe, just CSing, not even going for the trade. So they're actually at higher health than Don't Mash Me right now.
That was a very good play by them. So it's, yeah, exactly. It's CLG holding on to this one, and of course, I think they'll be happy to wait till late game for this one right here. So, Nien versus Zaya Spartan. Notice how far back Nien is playing, actually. Is really only last hitting with Shock Blast there. Is afraid of that Evelyn. We haven't seen her on the map in a while, and that's putting a lot of pressure on the CLG lineup.
Ooh, he just went so close to the edge there. He barely got seen by the edge of that. Oh, no, he didn't get seen by the pink ward. He goes in on double.
They put a lantern onto him. Interesting choice right there.
Yeah.
And Double just kind of jumps right on back. No big deal there. Not a successful gank here by Nintendo. So that early Evelyn pressure has not done much. And you're seeing actually a 3-minion kill lead for Big Fat LP. A slightly larger emphasis on farming. That Nast is pulling ahead.
Yeah, so when you chuck a lantern over in that bush, it definitely gives him away. You're shining a light on your invisible ganker. And Nintendo actually, another unsuccessful gank right there.
Yeah, shows up in the mid lane right as Link is clearing away the Wraiths right here. So CLG still not trying to make moves with roaming, are just going for the farm right here. Shifter might spot Big Fat LP. I think they see each other right there on the brush. Ward comes out, Wither comes across. Not too big of a deal right there. More harass from Big Fat, but he's running low on mana at this point.
They did get some good information. Now they know where Nasus is, so the rest of the lanes don't have to worry. And it's actually pretty big for Zion. Since Nien went with the pink ward, Zion can't place any sort of vision around that top lane.
So that's a good thing for them right here. So here we go. We look at the top lane once again. Still very, very close in minion kills right now. So no major leads have been given. Nintendo spent a lot of time trying to gank, but hasn't gotten much more than a couple of minion lead.
So we're going to have Nintendo, again, probably come through this pink ward that Nien placed. CLG, they've done a really good job not hesitating to pay the pink ward Evelyn tax that all teams are really faced with at the beginning. And it's paid off really well for them. They have not lost any people to those Evelyn ganks. But they're going to have to find a way to now deal with level 6 Shen. Stand United available to come in.
There we go, and only the end can really stop that. He does have the Thundering Blow there. The melee Hammer Form E ability to try to stop the teleport if they want to do it. Of course, Nintendo getting closer to 6 as well. Right now, only 5 1/4, but he's making his way up compared to Big Fat LP, who actually is pretty much at 5 1/4 as well. Now, both these champions do different things at level 6, though. Nasus can solo Dragon. That's pretty scary. Nintendo, though, has really good gank power.
And Nintendo has gotten into the jungle just before this pink ward went down for Link. So he's on the very edges of Link's vision, and he's looking to come in behind him.
Looks for something right there. Big Fat LP does grab the red buff, though. He's right behind. Nintendo's going to actually back away from this one.
And he gets seen out.
He does get
pink
picked
ward
away.
Finally gets him.
Good pick, good vision there by Team CLG to realize, okay, guys, we got to be careful of this one. We can get picked on right here, but Nintendo, with pink ward control, he's looking towards this dragon. I mean, he's really waiting around, trying to see if his team can go for it.
And they do have Draven buying first, so he already had the BF sword, and Double F still coming back from the fountain right there means that they won't be able to contest this. So pink ward for Coast actually pays off even more, and they just grab the global objective.
Really good early setup here. 700 gold lead there. First Dragon Team Coast, 8 minutes in. It's going to respawn about 14. We'll see where these guys go with it. Now, Nintendo, interestingly enough, he's got an energy mid laner. He actually might be given the blues.
It would be nice on Zed to get those, but it's pretty early, so you don't really need that on Zed, so it probably will, like you're saying, go to Nintendo. And that's amazing for Evelyn because, you know, with about a month ago or whatever, when we upped the mana costs on her Qs, it did hurt a little bit. And anytime you get that mid-game blue buff for a jungler, it's very impressive. He won't, however, be getting his mid-game red buff.
No, indeed. Big Fat with a good steal right there. Good ward coverage as well. And speaking of the jungle buffs as well, that blue buff, Evelyn was like barely 5.5, maybe even below that right there. It got that full half level, hit level 6 from getting the blue buff. Good power spike for her. So she has Agony's Embrace now. In fact, every champion on the map has their ultimates available. So I feel like things are going to get explosive pretty soon as, you know, Coast is the team that wants to play aggressive, wants to force engagements, wants to make things happen because they don't want to wait for Tristana to just scale into hyper carry late game.
And it'll be interesting to see where the action come from Coast, because they actually have amazing engage. With the Stand United available, they can pick a losing fight and actually come out on top.
And actually hook lands onto Chowster right there. A little bit of damage from the stand aside, but no real follow-up here for Coast. And no engagement right there. So the hook on cooldown. Daydream will wait around a little bit more. But now Link and Big Fat up here looking to make a move. They will walk right by a ward.
And Yen up top under pressure.
It's a lot of damage coming off onto him, of course. The damage nearly there, down to 300 HP. Yen might look to flash the wall. He does. Flash bird, and the successful sort of push at the bottom lane might just give CLG a turret.
Ooh, Draven ultimate going the distance here, baby.
Oh, nice try there. But in the meantime, the bottom lane box comes across. Big Fat LP forced to take a shield right there. Low on health, burns his ulti as well. CLG does survive that encounter, but it's Coast taking a lot of pressure onto their turret down below half HP. It's going to be shifted going in. Pop Steel goes on a Link right now, but he's going to get shielded as well. There's Exhaust. Daydream pulls the team in. Good shockwave pulls up one. Shouts for the beautiful crescendo. The damage is not there. Zaya Spartan might try to find it. The shield though. Chowster's still not going down. First blood did go to double it, and that is it. 1 for nothing.
Oh, that crescendo by Chowster, just beautiful. And it was set up by the shockwave of Link. Really nice synergy between the mid and the jungle. Plus, since Link he's maxing his command protect second from his lane phase, he actually had a big enough shield to even save Chowster's life after that.
Coast might just get a turret for their troubles, though. The wave clear comes out from Nasus Wither coming by as well. No, sorry, just the Spirit Fire, actually. But of course, with Shen leaving his lane, that left Nian alone now in the top lane. And last time Nian was left alone, CLG beat TSM, and Nian hard carried that match. So this could be rough for Coast.
Yeah, he is on the Jace this time, though, so he's going to get some damage on this turret. But we have Shifter heading right towards him, and he does have his Cutlass, which, you know, it's not the same damage as the Blade of the Ruined King, but he does have the active slow on there, too, so he's good at chasing people down.
Looks like Nian scares Shifter away from some of those last hits on the turret as well. That turret, by the way, down low on health, down to about 1/3 right here. So good early setup there, Nian. That empty lane, getting some pressure there, and we look actually at this 1v1 matchup between him and Zion Spartan, and Zion is actually doing significantly worse. Nian holding on to a 20 minion kill lead in addition to the extra turret pressure.
Nian has had to purchase pink wards though, so he spent some of his extra money, you know, for those pink vision wards that he's got, and he's got another one in his inventory right now, even having already placed the one in the tri-bush. So he's not going to let any period of time elapse where he doesn't have full vision up in that top lane.
Speaking of vision in the top lane, Nintendude is looking to maybe make a move up there for himself. Nope, he's going to sweep out the double golems and make his way back through his own jungle. That's fine for him. And yeah, he just makes his way down. It's going to be a recall from Nian and no gank so far. So Nintendude on that Evelynn has really not found any early openings. CLG has completely survived this early game without much incident, which is really a good hand to them. They went for the late game comp, and they've held on everywhere.
Exactly. Like we talked about, they didn't hesitate to pay that pink ward tax. And that just resulted in no kills for Evelynn. They were able to grab that dragon for Team Coast because of the power that they had in the bot lane, just timing it with Double Lift's recall, but that really has not snowballed them at all. And CLG, with the obvious late game composition here, if it keeps going this way, they are very, very happy to take this game the distance.
And they've just found a turret to drop down as well, so good timing on CLG to push as soon as Don't Mash Me recalled away. Bottom lane turret does go down. Now, Dragon is only a minute away. Last time Coast took that without incident. And as we saw, really, I think, from Velocity vs. TSM, the fact that TSM got every Dragon pretty much all game really held the mid despite an early game deficit. Certainly a different team comps this time around, but the Dragon has made and broken teams so far just today. So we'll see if Coast can keep that one up.
And Coast are going to have their Stand United available for when this next Dragon pops up. So we'll have to see if Zion actually makes the move to get away from Nian Tanso and out of vision to avoid the knockbacks before coming down.
But Zion's part has been constantly harassed out by Nian. Now, this bottom lane turret does get answered, but you look at Zion's health bar in the corner of your screen, he's down below half right there. And Nian has constantly been pushing him down farther and farther, going towards the Muramana, going towards the Brutalizer. He's been putting out so much damage that Zion is going to have a little bit lower impact this game than I think he's normally used to.
Yeah, and he's not on one of those hard carrying champions. He talks about how he likes to build damage and he likes to take out the key members of his opponent's team. Not really going to be in the cards here for that Shen with Sunfire.
And right now, actually, the pings are going towards the mid lane. Nien was left alone to take the top lane turret down. The push is actually going to be in towards the Dragon. So the top lane turret traded for Dragon right here. CLG not looking to collapse in this one. But the mid lane turret is the one to be worried about, of course, because CLG still have Nasus and Orianna there available to push it, as well as Nien towards the top lane. They could lose more of their base. Coast hold mid. Looks like nothing's going to fall over.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice by Coast there. They actually bring Zion down to Dragon before they even start it, instead of having him hold that top wave and rely on the Stand United to join the team. It resulted in a few waves, or one wave, getting destroyed by that top turret, and some more free farm for Nien Tanso on that Jace, already with the mana unit plus Brutalizer.
So Nien with a 30 minion kill lead now that is growing larger and larger, about 25% really he's above Zion Spartan, and the mid lane turret now also under siege. Thing is, it's a potential 4v5. They could go into this with the Stand United. The CLG really not flinching. This turret 3 attacks away from falling. CLG, interestingly enough, are the aggressors.
It's going to be very hard for Coast to actually hold this one. This is probably going to be the next team fight. Here we go.
The initiation comes in from Nintendo, takes a whole bunch of shields. It's going to be the initiation from all the ninjas right there. Traps are low on health. Shotgun comes across. So does Crescendo. 1 kill picked up so far. Jader puts down the box. Link under fire. The knockback. 2 kills picked up so far. 3 kills picked up. Beautiful team fight. Coast. Dangerman falls down. Nien forced to run away.
Nien able to answer for at least 1 kill for CLG right there, but man, the all-in from Coast was just devastating. Daydreamin took so much damage, he was soaking that up as a support. He really enabled Don't Mash Me to continue to put his damage out with that Draven from the back lines and just devastated CLG.
And they get a turret for it. And I want you to look at the scoreboard right now. The Death Cap and Infinity Edge that are right there on Link and Doublelift were not there for the fight. They bought those items after dying. So there was a huge power spike that Coast just circumvented by starting the fight that early, and now they're the ones in control of the map.
Yeah, and it wasn't even Coast who started that fight. It was CLG picking that fight, pushing up into the mid turret here. And they just, like you said, they hadn't purchased, so they didn't have the power now. Now with the Tristana, with the Infinity Edge, things are gonna be a bit different.
And I also want to point out, again, towards that depth cap of Link, because we see Thieves and Holy Grail so often, or even Morella and Namakan maybe. Hold on, Zion's actually going to find Nien. A little bit of damage here. It's going to force Nien away, I think.
Yeah, taunt just comes up a little bit short, but the red buff burns him down.
So some good fire-based damage here from Zion Spartan, forces Nien away. But again, I want to go back to the death cap point, because we normally see cooldown reduction, mana regen, Orianna. Link's like, no. I'll go triple Doran's Ring for regen, but I'm going death cap. I'm going carry Orianna. I want burst.
Yeah, so we've talked about this with Link and with the members of CLG. They put a lot of thought into having more threats on their team, because part of the problem with them in that spring split was they didn't have other sources of damage besides Doublelift. So not only have they stuck Doublelift on a hyper carry, but boom, we've got Nien Tanso damage all day in the top, plus Link going straight for that death cap.
And the re-engage now on the mid lane. This will be CLG evening it out. Not evening it out, actually making it 3-2 in turrets right here. So the advantage now for Counter Logic Gaming. Ooh, very close in the gold right now. Nien forces away Zion Spartan in that top lane, just with straight attacks right there. So good pickup by Nien. Still in lead by 30. Run on top of the Nintendo though.
Still has that pink ward, but he didn't drop it, so he has to burn his flash.
There we go, gets a knockback on the Nintendo, and that is all he gets. So, Summoner Spell burned out there, probably worth Nintendo burning his ultimate, but now CLG looking to make moves 4v3 on the map. No ult available for Zion Spartan. This could be all they need to take a turret down.
Yeah, they can siege this one up because they do have the Sona at full mana. Great wave clear here from that Zed plus Draven. Means that they've bought enough time for Nintendo to join the party, and CLG going to pull back off this one because they've lost sight of that Evelynn. Nien Tanso actually flubbed his pink ward over the side there. It didn't quite get in that bush.
I do have to say though, I really want to commend Shifter for that. Like it sounds like a weird thing. It sounds like a weird thing to celebrate, but he basically full cleared a wave with like a 10-second cooldown. I mean, that would have been a CLG turret on a 4v3, and the fact that he got rid of that wave so cleanly and stopped CLG pushing in, like, it's against minions, but it's something worth practicing to keep turrets alive. Think like mechanics like that, knowing the ability combos, pretty worthwhile. There's the blue buff also getting stolen away. Nintendo did smite that one, so as CLG backed, another advantage grabbed by Coast.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge strength of the Zed kit. Now, everyone talks about him being a great duelist because of his ult and the all-in combo, but using just the Shadow plus W's and Q for clearing waves is a really nice tool That was taken down a little notch by the increase of cooldown on his Shadow Slash. Still, definitely very potent though.
And now we hit into the mid game, and the split push has begun. Zion Spartan on the bottom side of the map. Now, Dragon's up in only a minute, so Coast doesn't have much time, but they have sent the rest of their team, I should say 3 members of their team, towards this top lane to try to pressure a turret down. They're met with 3 members of resistance, so it's going to be interesting mechanics. Can they push in on this?
And they do have that Nasus. He's already used Spirit Fire, though, so the wave clear isn't going to be there for this one. Kennen Minute hard to take down.
Wither goes off on Nintendo, but he just gets out of that one with his W. Nice little escape there by Evelyn.
So here comes CLG. This is what they wanted. The 4 versus 4 top, while they let double lift, split push, and farm constantly. It's CLG. The first team in North America to do this, probably around the world. They're very almost alone in this strategy, but they love having especially double lift, split pushing, and it's actually a good matchup with Shen because he can even interrupt the Stand United if Shen decides to join the fight. That Buster Shot, really powerful knockback.
It really is, and you can see, he has amazing turret pressure as well right there. And as you mentioned, right, it's one of the only teams that's so AD carry centric, and it's actually something this was actually the matchup I wanted to watch. This is the matchup that I picked as the important one because CLG's up on the rise, and Coast is a very, very difficult opponent to face against. And CLG, again, the only team that's so AD carry centric. I want to see the strategy still works as a split goes on if they're the only team to play this way, but still make it successful. Coast, the Dragon did respawn though, and they're the team going for it. Once again, unanswered Dragons over and over again. 3rd time this match, and they have a gold lead as a result.
Yeah, CLG actually let up on their map pressure. 4 people here were spending time in their own jungle, and that allowed Coast, with that timer, just grab another Dragon. They really needed that Dragon too, because they want the gold lead at this point. If they just keep letting it go as is, it's going to be very hard for them to deal with that super fed double lift.
And yeah, let's keep track of Double Lift right now because he has 7,400 gold compared to Don't Mash Me's 6,700. So that is a lead there. And this is a team that has 3 Dragons, is only down a turret. Their AD carry has 3 assists on it. Like, those should all be giving him more gold, but that split push double lift, he is rich. He's got almost Phantom Dancer, he's got Infinity Edge. That champion is turned on by this point. The mid-game level is over for Tristana.
Yeah, and we've seen CLG do their best to protect double lift. In the early game, they had the Link Shockwave into the Chowster Crescendo. They're trying to use those as counter initiates instead of using them at the beginning of the fight to initiate. So once Coast use their dashes, their all-ins with Shifter and Zion Spartan to get onto double lift, they're going to want to use those tools as disengage.
And here, speaking of disengage, Nian had to acceleration get away from that one. Nearly got caught out there in a 2v2 engage, but the rest of Coast actually still holding on to this top side of the map. Double lift right there again, the split push there. He's going to be up against Zion Spartan. You talked about that matchup being pretty decent for double. I want to see how this one plays out. He has that faint shield, but it's Zion really getting shoved away. That turret is taking pressure constantly right there. Zion still getting pushed away. I mean, look at that. Double lift is chunking him down. Now he's forced to lifesteal back, but it seems to be going very well for Double.
Yeah, Double Lift is not scared. You know, he has not bought one of the lifesteal items like the Vamp Scepter, but he's got 6% from his Quints, and Big Bad OP walks right through 2.
Falls for that bait, hook, line, and sinker, and Dangerman going in for this one. Nintendo tries to show up, gets a giant set of shields, and there's the engage. Flashes forward, stand aside does not quite land. There's the flash taunt, lands on a Big Fat LP. Bottom lane turret goes down. 2 kills picked up as Shifter finds finds Diad, and here comes the push.
Oh, the top lane bait. You have 2 people pushing and 2 people in the bush. Really nice by Coast right there, but still, Double Lift. He kept shoving that lane. He's going to try and trade an inhibitor turret for Baron.
It's going to be the recall for Zed. He is the one to defend this one. Shifter, it's on you to keep your and him alive. Link is around, so is Chowster. So it's a weird 2v4 with Baron kind of being the 3rd member of CLG. See if he can make it lower and lower on health. There's the fight in the bottom lane. Double ignited. Forced very far back, but look at the turret. Red team has slain Baron Nashor, but the crescendo comes across. Chowster's gonna fall over. Baron +1. They've saved the lane as well.
So that bait up by the top turret for Coast just paid off huge. They were able to grab the Baron after that one, and Shifter was defending against Double Lift, almost able to finish him.
Oh, the taunt lands on a Link, the hook as well. Link is caught alone right there. Knockback's coming across. Another kill picked up. That was except for Double Lift and Ace.
Very, very, very sketchy now for CLG. We talked about Coast having to make a move early, and this is the prime time for them. They need to make use of this Baron buff to try and continue to get objectives. CLG, yes, they're flustered, but they're not panicking yet because they still know that they have the end game in the bag, and they've got an extra ring of secondary turrets still standing right now.
They are a little bit ahead in that turret lead right there, and I kind of want to talk about this double split push then, because he's been, right, he was dueling against Zion Spartan before, couldn't quite get the turret by himself. Only when Zion left did he kill the turret. Dueled up against Shifter, Shifter pushed him away. So let's talk about Double a little bit. He's only relying on his quintessences right now for lifesteal. 6% lifesteal, otherwise went IH Phantom Dancer. When he takes early trade, it's taken him a long time to get his health back up. When we talked to Dyrus about how he was playing the poke game and trying to chunk down enemy targets to win dragons, he said, I don't want to hit Draven, he's got a Bloodthirster, he'll lifesteal back in a minion wave. Doublelift is not lifestealing back in a minion wave.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting what Doublelift's next item is, because if he's going to continue to split push and Coast send Shifter against him, then he's going to need something defensive. Either a QSS to cleanse off that death mark from Zed, or some sort of armor item, maybe even that frozen mallet like he likes to get with the HP. He got a lot of criticism for that one last time. So it's very, very interesting to see what he goes with next. He could just build a lifesteal item like you're talking about and stay with the team for team fights instead of split pushing.
And right now, speaking of split pushing, there are 10 seconds left on Zion Spartan's ultimate. Coast sitting far back, making sure they do not get caught without Stand United. And on this wave, they're going to have the Shen ulti. Zion making his way around the map right now, but Coast still trying to put pressure on the turret. Just takes the lantern every time he hits the turret down. Makes sure not to get caught, and they're making good work on this turret.
Yeah, they're making good work on the bottom turret. Plus, Zion up there free farming up in the top. He's going to be able to get the top one too. Doublelift going up to head him off.
Absolutely huge, and now Don't Mash be forced to lifesteal back. And look at the difference right there. Oh, it takes a shock blast, but generally speaking, getting a lot out of that one. Top lane turret lower on health, but again, CLG sends Doublelift. That's the player, the Tristana, that's the champion who's getting all the farm here for CLG. It's on him to make that late game carry. Still scaling up, but Coast are still relentless with the front door.
And Tristana is chasing around Zion Spartan here. He's running through the bush as well as inhibitor turret's under attack.
And they get the initiation on to Don't Mash right there. Shadow comes on to Daydreaming though, so Mashme's kind of low, but one kill happens right now. The fight has begun, and Coast actually forced to run away from this one, but Doublelift is right here on the corner. Does not go in for it, just a 1 for 0.
CLG tried to engage 4 versus 5 right there because they had caught Don't Match Me in a bad position, but because they can't finish him off, they pay for that one while Doublelift is just walking through the jungle.
A little bit of an unfortunate movement there by Doublelift then, and of course Coast did a good job of splitting them up right there. Another dragon goes down, unanswered every single time. Coast keep pulling up global gold. Dragons, Barons equaling it up on turrets. These guys are doing very well in the mid game.
Yeah, we said they needed to make use of that Baron, and they definitely did. Great job by Coast, pressing the advantage. And that lifesteal difference that you talked about between Doublelift and Don't Mash Me, very apparent there after that last fight.
And actually now the gold between the 80 carries has equalized. They're both sitting at 9,800 right now. So that lead that was there for Double has been turned, not turned around, but equalized here. So Mashme should be a similarly fearsome 80 carry as long as you don't necessarily count the steroids and the safety of Tristana's long range. So the damage output coming out of this Coast lineup is still going to be very, very strong at this time.
Yeah, CLG, they are almost able to grab Don't Mash Me and take him down in that fight. 4 versus 5. Remember, we didn't have Doublelift in that actual bottom fight. So CLG probably going to return to turtle mode right now and defend their turrets. Wait for Coast to make a dive.
Let's see if they go for that dive right there. Of course, Coast, it's a little bit harder for them to dive. Actually, I don't know if that's actually true right here. So they don't have Zac or someone who really just wants to go in there, builds only armor, and is a huge tanky man. But at the same time, they do have Zion Spartan with Ninja Tabby, Aegis, Randuin Zoman, Sunfire Cape. He is a massive, massive armor tank there, and maybe he can dive turrets.
They would definitely prefer not to dive turrets and use Evelyn's ability to flank CLG. It's kind of what they're doing right now. If they draw CLG out into the jungle and then surround them, Coast would definitely love a fight out here in the open.
And right now, Zion Spartan has another 25 seconds on his ulti, so if Coast gets caught out, it will be a 4v5. but Coast are just splitting Counter Logic Gaming around the map. They go East Coast, West Coast, and now onto this left-hand side, this turret is going to be going down. So 5-4. Coast are manipulating the map so very, very well. It turns out that Zion Spartan Smiley Face might just have been split pushing because these guys are doing that very well.
Yeah, this is that map pressure that you gain with the Shen pick. Yes, Zion's not on that hard carry that he usually likes to be, the snowball champion, but it gives you this option in the late game where you've got an extra global move here from Zion. Doesn't get the red. Doublelift able to knock him away and grab that one, but he's still more pressure. Oh, and he fails a wall too. This is just not Doublelift's day.
At least he got the red. Actually, I learned very unfortunately a couple days ago that you can ult minions and fail to knock away a champion. That was rough, but looks like Doublelift using that to good effect for himself though. Has at least grabbed that one away, and now he is continuing to just try to be that carry. 290 minions, by the way. He is well above everyone else. I shouldn't say well above. Nien's close behind him. Those are like the two CS gods of like the LCS North America here. Nien and Double, always the ones who kill minions.
So Double has not gone also with the defensive item for his third item this time around. He's listened to the fans and he's gotten a third damage item going with the Last Whisper so that they can have the presence in the team fights. Because Doublelift has itemized this way, we can be looking for CLG to actually flash crescendo and be using their CCs offensively. So they want to flash crescendo to initiate and then follow that up with the shockwave. To get this fight though, they're going to try and draw Coast over to Baron here and force the Stand United from Zion.
Zion Spartan definitely pushing that one down, but Baron is dying faster right here. Nintendo goes in, lands the stuff, and there's all the shields coming in. Chowser low on health, but the re-engage is there. And it's double kill so far for Don't Mash Me. Keeps chasing on down, forcing CLG away. Stand aside does land, double takes a shield. Shifter still on the chase. Will they get number 3? They do. Triple kill picked up for Don't Mash Me. They might just be able to clean up Baron.
How many thousands of HP was shielded on Nintendo right there? That was ridiculous. No way CLG could burst through that one. Good job by Coast immediately reacting to the Baron draw right there. And Doublelift recalling in a bad spot, but Daydreamer doesn't quite see him.
Flash hook. Oh, he doesn't land it in time. Nice try, Daydreamer, but unfortunately couldn't make that one happen. Link still on the run away. Shifter is nearby. Zion Spartan also chasing as well. They're setting Don't Mash Me on the split push right there, but Double will be there to defend him. There's a slow onto Link. Was it be enough damage? Yes, it is. Shifter takes the kill.
Able to grab another one, so that's pretty huge. The Baron wasn't taken, though, because all the members of CLG, the stragglers, were able to run through Coast jungle and waste the members of Coast time. They didn't pick up a Baron on top of that, so it's actually a pretty good job by CLG, making the best of a bad situation.
So good job by CLG, then to bait them around. It's Coast still the team with the lead. They won that last team fight very, very, very well. The engage was strong. And Don't Mash Me just got huge. 4-0 and 6. You can see he's actually now a little bit ahead of Doublelift on the item table. Has about 1,000 gold lead over him as well. But Coast says, you know what? Last time we fought around Baron, we won. Let's go for it again. It's now Coast running Baron.
And they have an Oracles too, so Daydreamer doing a good job even clearing out all the vision around here, while his team just destroys Baron.
Absolutely amazing. No even contest right there for Counter Logic Gaming. So Coast, unanswered dragons, unanswered barons, unanswered team fights. Heck, they've now got a 10,000 gold lead, basically, and this is looking like Coast's game. I don't know if CLG's ability to say, yeah, we'll hold on forever might work this time.
Yeah, last time Coast got the Baron, they made a huge run. They got 3 turrets plus 3 more kills onto CLG. We'll have to see if they can make as good of use of this one. Pretty sure that they're going to go back to the old split pushing strategy that Stand United only has 20 more seconds to come back off. So they can just leave Zion down there in the bottom and have the rest of the team group up just like they've been doing all game long.
And speaking of building armor, is that going to be a Thornmail from Zion Spartan? He's got Shane Vest and a cloth armor. I mean, already has 1 million health and armor, but wants about 1 million more. And at that point, I feel like Double will kill himself attacking him.
Would you say he'd walk 1,000,000 miles?
Yes.
he's got all armor. This is the reason he's itemizing like this is because the late game threat that he's most worried about is that Doublelift and the Nien. So he's really made the choice here to try and dodge Link's Shockwave. If he can avoid the Shockwave combo there from Link, then it's going to be perfect itemization for him because Doublelift's going to be returning that damage, the auto attack damage, back onto himself.
Here we go. So a lot of threats right here. Sort of removed if he only hits Zion Spartan here. Of course, has a taunt, so we can force that for a little while. And he is on the split push there. 2.5 minutes left on Baron. And we see Zion Spartan in your top lane. The rest of Coast all the way down onto the bottom. Nintendo X, uncharacteristic of himself, has built ability power this game. He's got a blue elixir. He's got Leandri's Torment. He's got Sorcerer's Shoes. This is a new look for Nintendo a little bit.
Yeah, he's definitely a fan of building damage when it's appropriate. And because we saw in the last team fight where the Stand United shield came on top of the Agnes Embrace shield, he obviously does not need any more defense after that. He's got plenty to work with.
Plenty to work with, indeed. There we go to Ian, just sweeping out the top lane. It's actually him this time and not Doublelift taking that free lane farm, just to make sure that they have double there when a team fight possibly starts here in the bottom lane. This turret, look how low the health bar is. Just a few shots will bring it down. Now will Coast engage, and Tenude is around. Daydreamer looks for a hook right there, does not quite land it, and Coast are afraid to engage over a Shockwave Crescendo.
And they really can bide their time right now. They don't have to rush. We do have a nice taunt here from Zion, though, getting some harass on Niantanso up top.
Seems to be working him down quite successfully. Nian does have 16% lifesteal, though, so if he wanted to wait around a mini waves, he could do so more or less okay. Zion is just, I think it's like, as soon as he kills the mini wave, he actually goes onto the turret, lets Nian hit him, and just shields it, and he's slowly making his way in.
Ooh, good hook here, but they don't decide to all in because they don't need to. Like you said, Zion's letting Nian hit him because that Thornmail that we talked about, returning that 30% of incoming damage as magic damage, works with Jace too. Jace also, not only does he have the Shock Blast, but a huge part of his damage are the auto attacks.
They are, and you can see him building towards a Bloodthirster right here, so more attack damage going to be coming out from Nian. Look at Coast still playing this game again. Just a couple shots to go, but the counter engage is so strong. Another hook on a Big Fat LP that gets some damage. There's the engagement from Nintendo, takes the shield as well. Crescendo, a beautiful knockback from Devil, but Shifter might not be done. Takes an exhaust, forced to run away. There's a turret going down. Box comes across as well. Who's going to fall down first? It might just be Chouster. Zion Spartan takes that kill. It's the kill on a Big Fat LP as well, and they force CLG back. Link forced to flash into his own fountain right there. Mashby just trying to get away. Puts a shield on him. Can he survive the end? No. Shockwave now hits Zion Spartan, and Zion Spartan will go down. There's the kill trend coming across. Doublelift finds Nintendo. Nintendo's gonna die in 2 more attacks, and he drops down. Doublelift. Huge kills picked up right here. Nintendo keep moving forward. Looks like he'll just sweep the minions.
Ooh, don't mash me. Really wanted blood in that one. He went all the way to the steps of the fountain, and it actually backfired a little bit for Coast there. CLG able to answer, and if Shifter gets caught in this bush, that would be terrible. But CLG, not with any sort of sixth sense. They can't sense that one out, so they're just going to shove.
They're looking for something to pressure there right now. Devils is making a beeline towards that bottom lane inhibitor turret, and actually, that turret has 2 health right now. CLG will take that turret down. Shifter, it's up to him to defend an inhibitor.
Yeah, he's got to be careful though, because Shifter does have the all-in ability, and Doublelift has no defensive items.
There's a pressure on. Doublelift taking the death mark to his face. Shifter shows back up there, picks up 1. Now Link is alone. Will it be enough damage? Look at the health mark getting just evaporated right now. Shifter with the Zen mechanics, double kill.
Yeah, that's why I said you got to be careful. No defensive item means that Tristana not able to deal with Shifter. He did the exact play we were talking about, where Shifter uses his death mark, waits for the knockback, buster shot used by Doublelift, immediately returns back to the shadow, able to finish him off.
Absolutely amazing play then. Shifter saving the inhibitor there. And of course, it's now 35 seconds of power play, 5 versus 3. Bottom inhibitor already dead. Mid lane, minions are shoving down right now. It's only going to get better for Team Coast as their other waves will keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Mid lane second turret going down. Minions are dead. Good wave through by Nian, but they might keep going.
Yeah, Shifter definitely just made up for the little blooper that happened in CLG's base. Now they've got another 15 seconds of free attacking this turret, and that's going to be enough for the inhibitor too.
There we go. Number 2 inhibitor is going to be going down. Looks like they will not try to backdoor anything else. Baron and Dragon both coming up in 1 minute's time. If they die here, gives a pretty good chance that CLG can turn that one back around. So here we go. This is the situation. 2 inhibs dead. Neutral buffs not really on the map right now. Sorry, the major ones like Dragon and Baron not on the map right now for a little bit. Coast's going to recollect themselves, but they're the leading team.
Yeah, you got to tip your hat to Shifter if you are a Coast fan right now. He just pretty much secured that middle inhibitor, and having 2 inhibitors down as opposed to 1 means that all of Coast can now actually head down that top lane. They don't even have to have Zion split pushing down bottom. The minions will do that for them.
And Let's watch this as they collect themselves up. 30 seconds on Baron, 30 on Dragon as well. It's going to be something that might just pull their attention around. They've so far done very well when they have attempted Baron. Coast have made those attempts very, very successful, never under the threat of getting smited away. They've snuck them in quite nicely. The buffs are getting grabbed. It's their turn to make a move.
Yeah, and not only does Coast have an Oracles, which cleared out all of the vision from CLG, even into their own jungle, but they see Double Lift down bottom farming. So this is pretty much a free Baron for Coast right now. CLG know that they don't really have a chance to go and contest that one. A 5 vs 5 out in the open, Chansey, plus the minions would destroy their base.
That is Chansey, so they're going to go ahead and let that Pokemon slip free. Counterlogic Gaming going to hold on to just their base and farm the minions. Now, CLG have been in this situation before on the receiving end. It was actually Nien's Tristana that held on forever with inhibitors and barons and turrets going down, and he carried Marn in the spring split through a game there over Counterlogic Gaming. Now the fates are turned around. Coast are ahead. CLG have that Tristana. They're in their base, but they have so many defensive tools. Can Doublelift do it?
They have the Tristana, plus they actually have AoE CC to set him up. If they perfectly land the crescendo into the shockwave, and Draven is a little bit too far forward, CLG can easily come back from this one, because Doublelift, if he gets one target down, then they will just go rampant.
They absolutely will go rampant here. Doublelift forcing himself back away. The engage looks like it's going to happen. Big Fat LP taking a bit of pain. Draven comes across as well, but nothing else really found. Big Fat forced to heal away. Zion putting pressure on the bottom side of the map, though. Someone must respond before CLG loses an inhibitor turret.
I love what Coast are doing there. They aren't grouping up for the possibility of that crescendo shockwave combo. Not only do they have Zion Spartan down bottom, but they have Nintendo who is flanking around the sides.
And the top turret takes damage as well. Doublelift was pulled back to defend that that Nexus turret, and it allowed Coast to put pressure up towards the top. That structure is taking more and more damage. The strangle is coming here from Coast.
Yeah, Nintendo continually sitting around here, threatening Chaucer from the side. They won't let their entire team get knocked up. Look at the power of that tanky Zion Spartan right there.
Turrets down to half. Of course, Nexus turrets do regen, but you can see it's still losing health over and over. Locket Shield comes across. Looks like Coast don't quite want to go into this one, though. Blue inhibitor has respawned, so Coast might have to stop to take more of those inhibitors down. Or will they keep pushing this turret? Hook comes across, does not quite land. The rest of CLG are still there to defend, but this bottom inhibitor getting soloed right now by Zion Spartan, and it's going to be Double looking forward to it and maybe stopping it. Zion's not killing the structure very fast.
Yeah, it immediately spawned though, and he just starts chunking away at it. He'll back off as Doublelift pats him there, but it opens up the top side. No Doublelift up top means that they're slowly chipping away at that turret as well.
And the end is chipping away at Nintendo, though. Has to take a lantern on his way back out. The Baron buff giving the rest of Coast some regen. And there we go. One more attack to go. And Zion Spartan turns around, picks up the inhibitor. So still 2 inhibs dead. Super minions will continue to flood into the base. And it's getting harder and harder to breathe for CLG.
Yeah, Doublelift's having to run to the mid lane, clear out those super waves, run back to Zion, poke him down a little bit, run back to the mid lane. He has so much work to do right now, while also being ready to start the fight with Coast at the drop of a hat.
Good poke is coming out, though. Nintendo down to half. Mashby low on health as well. Another poke at Nintendo. He wants to engage. Gets the shield. They jump on in. He runs for the back line. Devil taking a bunch of pain, and there comes Shifter. Will it be enough to break through barrier? Oh, not quite enough, but it's a double kill so far coming through for Don't Mashby. Huge engagement there. Nintendo has followed, but it's a 4v3 right now. Homeguards have to come out. CLG will have to re-engage this.
That's all 3 inhibitors down, and Team Coast still have 4 people up, but Doublelift's coming in.
And the pull lands on a Doublelift. He has some flash away. Rocket jumps out as well. Mashby in a duel with Nien. Is it going to be enough damage? It's close. Now Nien goes down. Now Doublelift, one of the only members still alive, takes a shield from Oriana, but Coast are still looking to close this out. They have blood in their eyes. Daydreaming, looking for his next hook, looking for the next engage right there. More shields on a double, more poke, they land the hook. There's the engage, the taunt, the damage, they pick him up. It's now onto the Nexus.
That's gonna be Team Coast taking this one. Don't mess me, already back to full life with that 22% lifesteal.
Link by himself, not able to defend the Nexus. The second turret does go down. Taunt lands, Link just falls over. Zion Spartan takes the kill. That's the game. Team Coast pulling it up.
Nice job there from Team Coast. Congratulations. They really did deserve that one, because at the mid game, when their window came, they took it and they ran with it. Grabbed the Baron and made it count.
They absolutely made it count. These guys put on a very, very good show right there. 7-1-10 Zion Spartan wasn't on a hard carry, but seemed to carry just the same. The amount of pressure he pulled around the map, splitting Coast up, splitting CLG up, and then re-engaging with Stand United, making those fights happen. It's a very well-tailored and very well-executed team composition from Coast.
Yeah, he wasn't as flashy as he usually is, but he made the plays. The early Dragons, the early lane pressure backing up his team with the ganks. Nice job there by Zon. He had only died once as the main tank for the team.
So incredible engagements as well. And the rest of the team did a very, very good job. They split the roles up. Nintendo did go on a carry. Actually went a bunch of spell penetration. He actually got Sork Shoes, got Leander's Torment, added a Void Staff at the end right there. So he was a hard carry. And you look at how Shifter did. Though not 1v2, of course, he had Daydream in there as well, but defending that bottom inhibitor was huge.
Yeah, he definitely had that one catch and double lift. Come back, just come running out of the gates there with no fear, able to take down him and Link, which basically secured the second inhibitor and snowballed that game.
So very well secured game. Now, guys, we do have to take a quick break, but when we return, Team Coast Zion Spartan will join us to talk about their huge win. Then Curse look to bounce back from their loss to Vulcan when they battle Cloud9. Week 4 of the North American LCS Summer Split will be right back, so stick with us.